everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Bead Stash Challenge. I'm Paula Montgomery from Desert Cat Creations, and we are the home of Bead Stash Challenge. This is where we use the Bead Stash Challenge cards to boost our creativity, make a little something. Every Monday or Sunday we draw for our weekly project. On Thursday we make it live, so today is a live project. We are going to make a tassel today, and then I'm going to attach my tassel to something else just to make it a more complete project. Excited about that. It's going to be beachy themed, which is perfect now that, you know, everybody's in summer mode and ready to be out there. So hopefully you guys are getting these notifications. If you aren't already, you may need to like click follow it, you know, the unfollow and then follow again. I don't know why Facebook after a while it stops sending you updates sometimes, or at least alerts. I just upgraded my second device here, and I was not getting the notifications. So hopefully that'll fix itself over time. But I know it's frustrating, but I try to be on time. I am not been very good about it lately, but you know, I'm usually on here between at 12 and 12:15 Pacific time, whether it's Sunday or Thursday. So I apologize for those who've been waiting for my sale announcement. I really am doing the sale. I just need to get it out there. I will try to do it this afternoon. I've been making some stuff. You know, I have some of my finished products going up to a store called Freebird in Catalina, Arizona. And I was trying to make some stuff to take up there, so it's been distracting me from doing my sale. But I have been busily making quails so I can do my kit. So I hope to have that kit available in the next couple weeks. So just on the kit, right now I'm debating whether to put 2 or 3 quail in the kit. So if there's 3, there'll be 3 different sizes. I mean, it does impact the cost. So if I do 3, it's going to be a $25 kit. Just putting that out there. And you still will have to supply your own wire, right? So you're going to get the directions, and you're going to get beads for the 3 different sizes. So you know, it's, if I want to keep it $20, you're only, sorry, getting too quiet. I think there's cat hair flying through the air here or something. I don't know. Anyways, so if you guys have any opinions on that, let me show you, since I have them. Actually, we'll go ahead and flip the camera, and I'm going to show you the quail, and then we are going to start our project, since we started a little late here, you know. So, all right, let's zoom in a little bit. Actually, I have a couple things to show you. So let's finish showing you the quail. Hey, Lorraine, if you're just, thanks for joining me. So, just so you know, these are going to be our adult quail. So those of you who've had my cat kits in the past, this is the size of the large rabbit. It's also the size for the larger size of the peacock and the turkey, right? This would be the next smaller guy, okay? Now, to me, he's kind of a teenager, so it's not necessarily mama, it's a teenager, okay? And then we have the little teeny tiny baby, if I put all 3 of them in there, okay? So they do stand up. It does take a little wriggling to get them to stand on their feet, and they don't like the soft surface, but on a hard surface, they do stand up. You can make them stand up. With the tail, that's the one nice thing about the big guy with the tail. I don't have to worry about balancing him to make him stand up, because between the feet and the tail, he stands up easily. These other guys are a little more, you have to get it kind of just right. But anyways, that's the upcoming kit. If you have the blue wire from that I sold with the peacock kits, it works perfectly with those colors. If you don't have it, I think I do still have a few spools. So it's the 22 gauge wire is what I'm using for those. Okay. So anyways, that's where we're at. Oh, so the other thing I just want to show you, I did finish off our project from Sunday. So remember we made the pendant, but I went ahead and I put it on a longer piece of wire, which I then just attached some ends to and a clasp, and it makes a really cute pendant. It's a little long for me. I think it's a good men's necklace too, but it'd be perfect length for a man probably. And then I finished the second eagle here. So see, this is what they can look like, and they dangle. You know, you could even move the attached circle back a little ways if you want it to dangle, you know, a little more this way, which, you know, I probably would have but I made them match. So anyways, just so you see those finished products. And like I said, I do have some of those eagles for sale. They're $1 each. You can get them in brown, or I have ones that are basically an all white, although I will say some of the whites do have a little bit of black wash on them, but but they're mostly white. All right, so let's remind ourselves what we're supposed to make today. So my cards are in a random order because I was making sure I had all this stuff out. So we're making a tassel, right? And we have to use shaped beads in our design. So let's see what I have in my little bowl here. Okay. So one thing I pulled out was some, these are check glass shells. We've used some of those in different colors before. I also have some little turtles, okay? So those are shaped beads, right? Other than round. The metal beads, so I have the turtles, and I have some charms in here, but yeah, the turtles will be my metal beads as well. And then we need to put some gemstone chips in there. So I pulled out some chips that matched those. So these are Amazonite. I bought a couple of these. They're actually already made up necklaces, but I bought them on somebody was closing out. They had a whole ton of them, so we're gonna cut it up and use some of those because I don't wear the necklace, and actually I have more than one. So anyways, all right, and then we have to do, our design is inspired by a tropical island. So for that, I am gonna add a couple of charms. I've got some palm trees. I've got a shell and a couple other shells. Another shell. Oh, sorry. And you'll see some of that stuff as we go along, right? And then I also thought I would put in, I thought the Amazonite and stuff did add some color that's very tropical, right? So anyways, we've got a whole collection of stuff here, so let's go ahead and get going with this. Right. So I've also got some chain, so we're going to make our tassel using chain. Yeah, the rest of these beads out here. We'll see what we want to use. Now I'm thinking of attaching my tassel to this large ring, which I was going to put a turtle in, and I think we're going to make it into sort of a suncatcher. But we'll set that in there for now. And let's just get our beads out so we can start creating, huh? All right. So we're going to cut that off. And then I'm going to cut the end off this. Necklace so we can use some of these chips. All right. Hopefully, you know, I didn't even look to see what whether I could get wire through those chips. Let's double check. Oh, yeah, should be good. I got some 22 gauge wire on here we're going to use because we got to wire some of these things up. Oh, and I needed... got to get my my head pins out. There we go. Got some head pins here. All right, so we've got a collection of charms. We've got some metal beads. Got our shaped beads. We've got our chips. And then I just had some other beads. We can get more of those out if we need to. I thought, you know, like I said, when I was thinking the suncatcher thing, I thought I would pull out just some clear crystals. Let's see what we've got here. Got some rounds, got some different shapes here. Something that'll add a little shine to our design here, okay? Or a little sparkle, right? Because gotta have something to sparkle in the sunshine, right? All right, so we've got those. So what I like to do is just cut a few sections of chain, and then so I don't like them all this to be the same though. So the question is, if I am going to hang it on here, how big do I want my tassel? So that might actually not be a bad length, especially since I'm adding things to the bottom. So let's see what we've got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we'll just use 10 rings. I don't know what this chain is made out of, so I am going to use my, you know what, I should look to see if this is closed chain. It is not, so I can use my tools to open it up. Which is actually, I prefer closed chain, but less waste. And we can use this to attach it to other things. 1, 2. So anybody have any thoughts on how many strands you need for a tassel to look good? I'm glad you like the quail, Lorraine. I am very happy with how they came out. So I'm going to say we need at least 5 pieces of chain here. Now they don't all have to be the same, but since I have a bunch of different things to hang for the bottom, I think I will make them all the same, because they will end up being different lengths as I attach things to them. So like I said, we'll start with 5, and if it looks like we need something more, we'll do that. So you're having reception troubles. I'm sorry to hear that. I know there's a new update out there. So Lorena was talking at the beginning, so if I include all 3 sizes of quail, and really, like I said, the 2 smaller ones are babies, they're not like a mama and so the quail around here, mom and dad tend to raise the flock. I don't know, they're probably not called flock, but so you usually have two birds about the same size. Their heads are a little different. The daddies, as with a lot of birds, the male birds are a little fancier looking than the female birds, but they have a little more color on their heads. But generally, they're about the same size, right? So. All right, let's see what we've. Oh, so my tropical island obviously is, I've got my charms and turtles, right? So, okay, let's see what we, so I could put, at least 3 of them will have these, right? And we could do turtles from one. I don't know. Let's see how this goes. All right. So let's put some of our chips on a wire here. That's probably good. And we're gonna attach. Might as well just attach one of our charms to this. So I am trying to think and work at the same time, and apparently it's not working for me today. I think I should have had more coffee this morning. So it's gonna be, we finally reached the triple digits here. I don't know if you watch the national news. So it was 102 yesterday, I think, here in Tucson, which is not unusual at all for this time of year. So since I have that open chain, I don't have to connect this and cut it ahead of time. I can make a closed loop here, make my little dangles ahead of time, and that way I can use the spool to help me with getting these loops looking good. All right, so there's one. So let's really have to put it on there yet, but we'll do it. All right. It is hot if you're outside, Lorraine, but that's why we do lots of inside stuff this time of year. All right, there's one. And let's use one of our shells here. And I am just, well, sort of randomly picking these, but I had a bunch of like single charms here, so I'm going to make them nice. So, all right. So again, then we're just gonna make our loop here. Lots of the same thing today when we're making a beaded tassel, right? So just lots of wire wrapping. But it's good practice, right? Yeah, those are really pretty. I don't know where I got those. I think I got them, I don't think I bought them at the gem show, but I think I got them from, there was a bead shop, which I've talked about a couple times in Panama City, Florida, that I went to. And when they were going out of business, I bought a bunch of nice oceany themed check glass from them. So I think those may have come from there, but yeah, the shine on them is really pretty. May have to look for those again next time I see one of the check glass dealers at the show. You don't always come, well, I haven't always successfully seen them, but there is a person that I've seen the last 2 years now, so they may be regulars. It wasn't a place that I had gone into in the past. So there's also another lady from Florida who sells at the gem shows, and she has a bunch of beachy stuff. All right, let's see. What do you think? A nice clear crystal with our big bead here. I'll use this big crystal. Yeah, I always love buying beachy stuff, which is good because it helps me when I draw these beach cards, right? But I don't live near the beach, so doesn't mean people don't like beachy stuff around here, though, because you know it's sand. We've got sand, we've got water. All right, my wrap stretched out a little. All right, and then we got this nice sparkly You miss the gem shows? Yeah. I used to go when I lived back east. I went to Bead Fest up in Philadelphia. Nice thing about living in DC is we could just drive up there for the day. It was a long day, but it was doable. So I know it's coming back. It's that one hasn't gone out of business yet, but a lot of them are struggling. Still a big one in Denver, which I used to go to when I lived there. Because I've been fortunate to live near where they do a lot of these bead shows these days. Now, when you're closing this back up, make sure you get it good and tight. You don't want anything to come off of there. No water, but lots of feet. Yes, but there's lots of pools around here, right? So, all right. Maybe this one we could just like put all of that on a. See if it'll fit on here. Otherwise, maybe we'll have to do two. Let's see if this is long enough to. Actually, maybe I should do that. Make a dangle with this one, and then does he fit on there? Yeah, Tucson is a great beady place. I guess I don't have to use the little guy there necessarily. Can do him on a different one. We will do that. All right. We're just gonna do this bead. Try not to get this out of shape, but sometimes. Oops. All right, dropped my pliers. The dropsies today, I don't know what I was getting something out of my husband was making fun of me because I kept dropping things today. So, I seem to get in a habit of, I'll have one day of where I drop things and spill things, and then I'm fine for a while. So, all right, where's the opening? is not closed. There we go. You cannot go wrong with Amazonite, you know, and silver. What do you think, guys? Think I need another crystal? Probably. Should I use the big crystal again, or I was thinking maybe the smaller crystal and maybe the smaller turtle. Or we don't even need another turtle. We could do a crystal. I don't have to have metal on all of my pieces. Maybe we'll just make one with beads on it. No, except I do have to get that on. See if it'll fit. Oh, excuse me. Caused my beads to fall over. These may be too thick for see if it'll fit with my chips. Nope. All right, well, I feel like I need to put some more chips on there though, so what can we do? We can make our own, right? So I think I will put a couple of these on if I can. Let's see, why is that? Thank you. Yeah. Let's see if we can get some chips on this wire. Not all of the holes are the same size, obviously. Try to use some of the thicker pieces. And then I'm going to put a crystal and then a shell. Nice and shiny. Looks like there's a little bit of a gold on these shell beads, but now I could have made a you know what, I probably should make this a goodness sakes, brain. I'm going to make my own head pin because we like to make head pins, right? So, all right, so I cut off, I don't know, about 3 inches maybe. So remember, we're gonna make a small loop at the end, go around twice. And then you want to bring your wire up and back through that circle. And let's see. Then you need your plastic tipped pliers, and then we're just going to pull this through until it's nice and tight. So it's kind of like a flower, but they don't always come out as flowery as I'd like because my wire's a little stiff. And we have our own head pin here. So what were we doing? So we were going to put this shell and then I have a crystal. And now we're going to put some chips. Now, when you work with gemstone chips, you know, they come in awkward sizes. So, you know, just throwing a few of them in adds, you know, an interesting shape and some color to your design. So, let's, since we've already cut this though, so we might as well not mess with opening our chain. I gotta make sure that's good and closed. And we can just slide the chain on there. So if you didn't have open chain, that would be how you could do that. Or you could always do the closed loops and then use a jump ring to connect them. Now I also want to, you know, be careful. These chips, sometimes chips are not that thick. So I don't want to overwrap and end up breaking them. All right, now we have five loops here, or 5 strings here. And so then what I'm going to do is just take a jump ring. Yeah. That out of the way. All right. And I'm going to grab my jump ring on one side. The opening is near the top and right next to where my pliers go. And then I'm going to grab the other side. And I am just going to twist it a little bit to open it. You don't have to go that far, right? And then we are going to slide all of our pieces of chain here. Just a second, I need to drink some water. And there we have our tassel. Now you could also make a loop using wire and then attach it to something. But all right, so there's our tassel. So let's see what it looks like with our other thing. So I'm using this big loop. This is a 44 millimeter loop. I did put these up for sale. I have a few, along with the other rings that I used with the eagle. These are 2 for $1 if you're interested in any of those. So I'm going to put this turtle in here, and the nice thing is he is just the right size that I can attach him on there with jump rings at both ends, I believe. So I didn't totally put him in here, but I was kind of measuring. So I'm going to put him on there, and then we will attach him to one end. And then hopefully this one will be long enough at the other end to hold it hold it kind of tight. It is close. Now I also want to so it wants to go a little off to the side. That's okay, but it'll we can slide it. But I was gonna try to attach my tassel to this same ring. So we'll see if it fits. All right. It does fit. But obviously I need something to prevent my top ring from moving around. So we are going to do something here. I was actually thinking, you know, if we of doing like a holder on here using leather. I could also use some wire to hold it there, but let's see if the leather works. I was gonna let's see how the all right, let's go. I'm trying to envision this in my head, but we'll see if that, all right, so I'm going to put my leather on both sides of that ring, and then let's see if we can center this. Let's see. So I have it right there, and then I am going to pull that loop up, pull these ends through. So see what I did there? And now, whoop, if I tighten this up, it should hold it there. Yep, a lark's head knot, which I probably should have done it the other way, but this is fine. All right. So now I have this loop, you know, this leather here I can use to hold it and hang it, and we have a little sun catcher. All right, I should have gone the other way with the knot, but oh well. I could still change it. Maybe I'll change it. All right. We're gonna go the other direction. All right, so instead of loop being on the front, loop's gonna be on the back. Now, if I had a, you know, like a big old bead, I could put that there, or we just make the tie so you can hang it. So I think that works, right? So just remember, when you're making the tassel card, you know, you can make the tassel into jewelry. You can make the tassel into a dangle, or some sort of a decoration, right? So, and we've got some shiny things in here that would catch the sun. So it could be a sun catcher. It could just be, you know, some people like to hang things from their, you know, their like rear view mirrors, or, you know, their bathroom mirror, things like that. But there we go. So that was a way to use our turtles. And another use of using these big rings. All right, so just a reminder, we made our tassel first. We've got our beads that aren't rounds or rondelles. We've got the turtles, we've got the shells. Then we have our gemstone chips that we had to use, and we have our tropical island vibe through with the shells and the color scheme. And I think as long as you're hanging this, it'll hang right, but you know, it can be adjusted around. If it starts moving around too much and being off center, we can always put a little wire wrap or some smaller jump rings in there to hold it. So there we go. Yay. Well, that was a fun project. All right. Let's see. There we go. So thanks again for joining me. If you are watching the replay, or just, you know, somebody who's catching us later, just remember that to like and follow us at Desert Cat Creations. It's very helpful. It's a free way to support a small business. Also subscribe to us on YouTube. I move all the videos over to YouTube after we have them, so that you can watch them there, and you will see the finished project. And just a reminder, the quail kits are coming, as well as I am running the sale, and yes, the sale will include the kits, because I'm going to get the kits out while the sale is still going on. Okay, so so there we are. Oh man! Oh, you're watching World Cup. Here's our finished tassel and dangles. So a little shiny, catching a little bit of the light today, huh? All right, very beachy. So, all right, so I will say goodbye for now, and I will see you all Sunday at noon, and we will do a bonus project. I think we're going to start doing some projects this month. We are going to pull out our old bead mixes and make a few projects with those, just to remind everybody what's in there and the kind of fun things that you can have if you work with these bead mixes, because they're all 20% off, at least through July 4th, okay? So I will see you on Sunday for that. And have a great weekend. Sorry, have a great weekend. I always forget where I'm at. I'm retired, mostly retired. so I don't always pay attention to what day of the week it is, except when I'm doing my show. But yeah, so enjoy your weekend. Hopefully, if you're a soccer fan, you get to watch somebody you care about. And there's lots of sports on this weekend. So if you're a sports person, enjoy it. But if not, take some time to bead. If the weather's like here, it's going to be really hot, but beautiful. So it's a great time to stay inside and make things. So hopefully where you are, you'll have time to get busy and bead and be creative. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to direct message me. I will be happy to respond and help you out however I can. So thanks again, and I will see you all on Sunday. Bye.